Okay, it's time for the big reveal. Which of the 5 engines in the previous video to swap into the 69 Ford van did I go with? Well, I found one day after making that video a Ford 300 4.9 liter carbureted from a 1984 Ford F-150. Found it on Marketplace. The good thing about this being from a 1984 is that it is carbureted. The fuel injected inline sixes started in 1987. To convert them to carburetor, you have to do a new intake and carburetor and a fuel pump. And you have to also use a different distributor. I wasn't very well prepared to carry this on a trailer, and the fan is all bent up right there. The only thing I've done to it is put a little PB blaster here and there. I'm probably gonna crack it open and see what I see what kind of wear and tear is on it. I'm hoping that I can just seal it up and use it as it is. I've got to get the new motor up on this stand. This is the old 240 cubic inch engine that was seized up. Gotta get rid of it somehow, but I'll probably take all these accessory belts and pulleys off of this one, put them up, see if they'll work on the new one. Because I'm not gonna have power steering in the old van. A lot of sludgy nastiness coming out of here. There's no telling what I'm gonna find. So when I drained the oil the other night, water came out first, probably about a half a gallon, and then the oil was very dark and sludgy. Well, I'm not seeing any catastrophic breakage on this old motor, but I am seeing some rust in the cylinder walls. To give you a little background on this, someone probably about 25 years ago took the head off this motor and left the van to sit in the backyard. And with the head out, moisture got on the cylinder walls and the tops of the pistons, and I believe that what has happened is the rings have just completely seized up to the side of the cylinder walls. And I thought there might be a chance I could reuse this flex plate on the 300 over there, because the 300 had a manual transmission, but I'm seeing that this is no good. Take a look at this. Alright, back to the new motor. I'm going to start taking some of this stuff off to where we can see what we're working with. I'm going to take the intake and exhaust off, some of these brackets and things to that effect. I totally forgot that there's a nut on the back side of this clutch that has to be taken off. Unlike the normal static non-clutch fan, So I had to rig up a strap around the pulley to the other side to hold this thing in place because I had already cut the belt. So let's see if this works at all. I can't get anything in there. The biggest wrench I've got is 32 and 1 1/4 inch. In standard, and none of that fits there. Had to take the dustbuster to town to get a tool. Alright, so there's the nut. And this is the tool, it's thin. This particular one is a 36 millimeter. I am told that some of the later models are 40 millimeter. And I've already broke this loose. The strap around the pulley did work. It held enough for me to loosen this nut. And it is reverse threads. The damage to this fan blades from strapping it down to this trailer. Alright, so to lift this thing up, I put bolts through these chains back here. Up here there's not as much that you can do, but I looped it through this area right here, around the alternator and back up. It can't go anywhere because it can't slip out from this area right here. Got these spark plug wires marked, which cylinder they go to. Let's see if any of these spark plugs will tell us anything about the condition of the engine. The plugs look really wet because I sprayed PB Blaster on them, but the inside is just mostly just carbon soot. Same here. Well, that looks terrible. Okay, it's just a really bad carbon buildup. And I'm not surprised by that because the guy I bought this from said that this thing sat out for 2 weeks and there was no oil cap on the valve cover and the carburetor was not covered up. I'm going to take this head off, and there is a order in which you torque down these bolts, so I'm going to take them off in reverse order of that. This is the last one. Go. Hold on. Let those slide down. But now I'm going to take the oil pan off and take a look. We're at a point now I'm going to check the rod bearings and main bearings. I've already loosened them. Well, I'm really glad to see that. Finally, some good news, but I'm going to check all of them. All right, that one's pretty scarred up. Few minor scratches, I would say. I'm going to take a look at the main. It looks pretty good. That's good too. So in summary, this engine's going to need a lot of work. I've decided I'm going to take the block in to be bored, probably 30 over. I'm going to go ahead and have the machine shop check the crank and get a gasket set, pistons, rings, main and rod bearings, cam bearings, a new oil pump. They'll put new freeze plugs in it at the machine shop. Get valve stem seals, and as far as the head, get new roller rockers, push rods, and have the machine shop check over it. It was definitely not ideal. Feel free to share in the comments what you would do about this, whether you would try to find a better engine or just proceed with rebuilding it. The really bad thing is just exactly how much money I'm going to have tied up in this one. It's inevitable.